Hi, welcome to Living Your Limitless Life. I'm Kayleigh Kennedy, business and mindset coach, mom, and your no BS guide to breaking through the stories holding you back. This podcast is your space to get real, get inspired, and get moving. Each week, I'll share the mindset shifts, strategies, and stories that have helped me and my clients build lives and businesses that feel as good as they look. If you're ready to stop playing small and start living big, you're in the right place. Let's go.
We all know that person. We've met that person who is just magnetic. You know that feeling. You walk away from that conversation and you can't quite explain what happened, but you just want to be near them again. You want more of that conversation, more of that energy. Sometimes we try to figure out why and we reach for the obvious stuff, like that person was really confident, or they had a lot of charisma, or they just said the right thing, or they just made me feel so good about myself. So then what we do subconsciously is we try to copy that. We add more to ourselves. Okay, if they were more confident, then I have to be more confident. That's not how confidence works. Or I need to work on my charisma, which these are all skills that we constantly get to work on and improve. But here's the problem: we start to pile new things onto ourselves to try to fit into a mold that doesn't necessarily fit us. So we're always trying to wear this mask, and we're wearing the mask to try to be more magnetic. That's not how it works. Magnetic is not something that you add on. It's actually what you are left with when you take all of this other stuff off. It's what people feel when the mask is off and you just show up as the amazing person that you are without the performance, without pretending, and you just be yourself, your true, unapologetic, authentic self. So today, what I want to do in today's episode is name 5 things that you can start to do right now. 5 things that you can come back into so that you can start becoming more magnetic and taking off the mask starting today. The first thing I want to talk to you about is owning your shit. Okay? Owning your expertise, owning your knowledge, but also owning the things that you might not necessarily know just yet. We think hiding the things that we might not know just yet protects us. It protects us from showing people the messy bits or the failures or maybe the parts that we're not necessarily proud of. So we tuck all of that stuff away, we keep it inside, and we only present the version of us that we feel like we should be presenting. The clean version, per se, the performed version, the polished version. Nobody is polished 100% of the time. Okay. I'm just going to throw that out there. People can actually feel that wall because everything is energy. So when you are performing, when you put on that mask, when you aren't showing up as your true authentic self, people can feel it. They might not be able to name it, but they can sense that there's something off. Have you ever been in a situation where you meet someone and you're like, just something seems off about that person? Well, they're not being their true self. They're wearing a mask. And I actually believe that most of us are walking around wearing a mask that we're not even aware of that we're wearing. And this mask was created from all of the stories that we've been telling ourselves and accepting to be true of ourselves. And then we try to perform in a way that we feel like we should perform to do the things or be the things or achieve the things that we want to achieve. So not only do we need to own our knowledge and who we are as a person, as an individual, as our authentic selves, but we also need to own our vulnerabilities. We also need to own the things that we don't know just yet. I think it's amazing when I ask someone who's in a certain field a question and they don't know the answer. They don't pretend to know the answer. They say, you know what, I'm not sure. Let me look up at that. There's a humanness about that. We're not expected to know everything, and it's okay. When you can show up more in your vulnerabilities, people are more attracted to that because there's an honesty there. Nothing turns me off more than only seeing someone's highlight reel. I wanna see behind the curtain too, because I've had times in my life where I've put people on a pedestal, subconsciously put them on a pedestal because they seem to be at a place where I desire to be, and subconsciously what that does, because I'm only seeing the highlight reel, what that actually does is it was continuing to feed into the stories that I'm not enough, and that didn't serve me. So I look for mentors who embrace it all because we all experience it all. I've worked in companies where the only thing that we were shown on the outside was a highlight reel, but I got to see the messy stuff from being on the inside. And I think there's an importantness in sharing that because we actually become more magnetic, because we become more relatable. People are drawn to people who they can relate to. So you don't need to have it all together. It's okay to not have it all together. And I find more people are drawn to the person who doesn't pretend to have it all together. So own your shit, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Number 2 is having a calm energy. Almost no one talks about the impact of a calm energy in becoming magnetic or manifestation or law of attraction or personal growth. Like, I want to be around people who make me feel calm and grounded. That there's a settledness to people who have calm energy. You can feel relaxed in their presence and you actually open up in their presence more. And you might not even know why, but this is why this actually happens is because your nervous system is always broadcasting. So when you walk into a room that's filled with anxiety and scattered energy and chaos, people feel that in their body. They feel that in their nervous system. You don't even have to say a word. But when you hold space and you are regulated and grounded and settled in yourself, people feel that too, and they lean into you. They soften in your presence. They trust you more. I used to think, and I'm not alone in this, I've had a lot of clients actually have these conversations, is this idea of vibration. And vibration is just a fancy word for how we're feeling. Calmness is a vibration. Confidence is a vibration. All of these things are vibrations. And I don't know if you've ever heard this before, but your vibe attracts your tribe, or to attract the things that you want, you have to live on a high vibration, which it's all true. But the thing that's misinterpreted in that is the idea that high vibration is high energy, always on, kind of like a rah type of energy and vibe. And sometimes we need that energy around us to have that pick me up. But I find if I'm around that energy all the time, it's actually exhausting because it's more performative. If you want to be magnetic, learn to be the calmest person in the room, not the loudest, the calmest. And in that calmness, start to develop a self trust and a self certainty that can be felt on the energetic level. The third thing that you can do today to become more magnetic is check your attitude. This one might be one of the tops of this list because your attitude towards life determines life's attitude towards you. It's not that good things happen and then you feel good, it's the other way around. Attitude comes first, and the world actually mirrors back your attitude to you. So, your circumstances or the way people treat you, how opportunities seem to find you, that is actually a direct reflection of the attitude that you carry in this world, the attitude that you hold about yourself and the things around you. Most people have this backwards. They are waiting to feel successful before they act successful. They're waiting to see the proof before they expect good things. They're waiting for the world to change towards them first before they act. You have to flip it. You need to become the person before you have the results. You walk, talk, and carry yourself as the version of you who already expects more good than bad. And that version is the one the world responds to. It's not because the world cares, it's because you've changed the attitude at which you're broadcasting. Magnetic people don't react to life. They've already decided how they're going to meet life. I used to think that attitude was always a projection, like you give attitude. Attitude is another state. Attitude is certainty. It's how we carry ourselves. It's how we project ourselves into the world. It's how we respond or we react to the things around us. So this number 3 is very similar to number 2. They can kind of go hand in hand. When you have a positive mental attitude and you really do act as if you've already received everything you want, you are going to have a more calm energy. Number 4, to become more magnetic, is have more fun. Just have more fun. We overcomplicate this one. Think about the people who you remember, the people who pulled you in. They're not necessarily the most impressive in the room, but they're the ones who genuinely enjoy life. There's a magnetism to lightness. It tells people that they're safe, that you can let your guard down, that nothing here is really that serious. We need to learn to take life less seriously. And yes, a lot of serious things happen. But again, this I'm going to use the word attitude here again. The attitude that we have towards life can create lightness or darkness. So when you try too hard to be magnetic, you actually stop having fun because you're so focused on performing. You are so in your head and you monitor your every word, and your effort actually kills magnetism. I used to work in an environment, I think I've shared this on a past podcast episode, and my mentor and I guess boss at the time told me I needed to be more serious, that people who were at the level that I wanted to be at were serious and polished and all of those things. And I tried that on for a while and it just didn't fit because I'm a fun person. I like to have fun. I'm full of energy. I also have a calmness to me as well. And that's the true me. So when I actually tried to be more polished and be someone that I was not, it killed that magnetism. We need to just like be lighter, like have more fun. I want to be around people who I enjoy being around, and I enjoy being around people who have fun. Yes, we can still have serious conversations. We can still do the growth work, but like let's make it a little bit light too. The moment you stop enjoying life and putting so much pressure on it, people feel that. They don't want to be around that pressure. You don't have to be impressive, just be enjoyable to be around. They're very, very different things. The more people enjoy to be around you, the more calm energy, watching your attitude, just owning your vulnerabilities, owning your expertise, that is going to make you more magnetic. And number 5 is at the root of all of this. Number 5 is the kicker. Number 5 will impact how you show up with the 1 through 4, and it's how you let go of the old story. This is the one that lies underneath all of the others. This is the real work. Everything I just walked you through, none of it is random. It all runs on a story that you're telling yourself, a version of you who believes that you have to earn your place or prove that you belong or hold it all together or whatever other BS story and belief system that you're running by that's keeping you where you are now. You actually magnetize to you the things that you believe to be true about you. So you don't get what you want, you get who you are, and who you are is a projection of the stories that you believe to be true about yourself. When I said at the beginning of this episode, becoming magnetic isn't adding stuff to us, it's removing stuff. What it is it's removing all of those BS stories that aren't actually our truth and aligning with the person that we really are, showing up in that self-trust, that self-certainty, that calm energy, that grounded energy, that energy who owns their mistakes and owns their knowledge. Your stories aren't a character flaw, they're a pattern that were wired in you at a subconscious level. And most of these stories were wired without your awareness, without your knowledge. A lot of them were wired before you even had a say in it. And they're running the show under everything you do. They say your subconscious mind runs 96 to 98% of your life. You have a habitual way of reacting or responding to the world around you. That is because of the subconscious stories that you're holding on to. So you can keep managing the symptoms, you can keep performing or forcing yourself into more confidence. But if you're doing this on top of a story that says that you're not enough as you are, you're going to get exhausted and people are going to feel that effort. The way to shift this and really truly become more magnetic is actually getting to the root. You can start noticing the stories today. That is the thing that you can start to do today. But this work has to go deeper. You need to release the stories that are no longer serving you so that you can take off the mask and start showing up as you, unapologetically, authentically, beautiful, amazing you. That is the version people are looking for. That is the version people want to see, not the polished one, the real one. So if you take one thing away today from this episode, let it be this. You do not become magnetic by adding to yourself. You become it by putting down what was never yours in the first place. The mask, the performance, that version that was built to just be liked or accepted. Yes, it's uncomfortable at first. The old stories are going to fight with you tooth and nail because those stories did keep you safe for a long time, but they also kept you stuck. On the other side of those stories is the version of you that doesn't need to try because there's nothing to try. You just are. That's the work that I do with people every day, going to the root and rewiring the story underneath so that you can actually let go of who you think you are and just be the person who you truly are. So that's the work that you're ready for. Hop over to the show notes. I have some resources in there. Follow me on Instagram, send me a DM. Let me know that you're ready for this work because it's time that we all take off the mask. Because the person who's behind the mask, I think you're really going to learn to like who's under there. I know for me, when I learned to take off that mask, and it was a practice and it did take time. It started by doing these 5 steps consciously every day and then doing the deeper work. And I know that I have never had more self-love and self-acceptance than I do at this moment, and that's continuing to grow because of this work. And I want that for you too. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you found a ton of value in this episode. If you did, please share it with someone else who needs to hear this message today as well. And I look forward to seeing you next time.
Thanks for tuning in to Living Your Limitless Life. If you loved this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend. It would mean the world to me. Plus, it helps more people find my show and we can create a bigger impact together. Until next time, keep dreaming big, taking bold action, and remember, nothing changes if nothing changes. See you next time.